I'm Robert Calhoun. I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm the guitarist for death metal band Wurm Flesh on Comatose Music, and I build speaker cabinets. This is my passion for woodworking combined with my passion for music, solidified into one. I got into it when I was 16. First was skateboarding. You had to build boxes, you couldn't really buy them, and my dad also every so often dabbled in some projects utilizing wood. So I'd get a scrap and I'd build boxes, and that's when I was like 16, 15, and I was kind of getting into playing guitar at the time, and I thought, I can't afford guitar cabs. They're really expensive. Maybe I could build one with all this leftover wood. And from building ramps, boxes, I kind of thought maybe I could do it for music equipment, and that's where it really started. I'm a stationary engineer for the state. Commercial HVAC design, repair, diagnostics, install. I started off just wanting to do music, and I always thought, what could I do more to be involved further beyond playing? Playing seems to be one of those things, especially in death metal, that we're not the favorite to be booked at a lot of venues, so to say. So how else can I be involved in my community? And I thought, let's, cabinetry. Let's bring this passion for carpentry and gear making to musicians as well.
That's why it kind of felt like 4 bars. Maybe even the cymbals can...
So attention to detail, first off, keeps you safe. Attention to the detail ensures that anybody coming behind you that looks at your work doesn't tell anybody, oh, it looks like a hack did your work. Also, attention to the detail ensures things run smoothly. A square cabinet and having, square work in the real world, like engineering, ensures, your water from your condensate pan drains out properly. It ensures that the cabinet isn't all wonky here. So there's a lot of principles in terms of just having a very calculated brain, and wanting to work with your hands that really, that are really key to both careers. So one of the cool features about this machine that I didn't have previously was called the Auto Z touch plate. This touch plate allows me to put it in wherever I determine the starting corner of the project was, and then it automatically finds that for me. So no more eyeballing it, getting knee and eye level with the tip of my bit, and then hoping I find the corner for accurate routes. This plate does it for me. Beautiful. It's not calibrated, but it's doing an air pass, so it's giving me an idea of what it needs to do. Oh boy, 34, God, it's almost going on 20 years. I'd say about 18 or 19 years so far I've been playing guitar. Picked it up around 14 or 15, but didn't really take it serious till about 16, if that makes sense.
And your band, how long you guys been together?
Me and Mitch and Curtis have been together for probably the last 4 years. Mitch and I were together before that for the last 3 years before that. So I'd say all in all, Wurm Flesh is probably going on 6-ish, 7-ish years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bars. Yeah. Yep. There's like 2 whole bars missing. You should get 3 of these.
So what's the plan? Do you guys have any shows lined up?
Yeah. We're going to be playing September with Embryonic Devourment in Ukiah. We've been playing, actually, there's a venue that I think closed down recently, sadly, called the Denshow. We were playing shows there left and right. We've played Tahoe. Tahoe's a big place we play. I'm in the works of getting us down to Vegas more often as well, because there's festival promoters who want me to provide backlines with Arachnid. And in doing so, I usually get Wurm Flesh on those things as well. So the business and band go hand in hand. I use Wurm Flesh to promote my product orally with getting it seen and heard. And I utilize Arachnid as a good tool to get Wurm Flesh's foot in the door, so to say. everything is a marathon. Nothing is a sprint. Same with music, same with running a business. Everything should be done with good taste, good intentions, and progress, whether it be fast or slow. And don't kill yourself when progress is slow or beat yourself up when progress is slow. Sometimes you need that to kind of reevaluate where you're at. Not half.
Lower than this?
It needs to be
It's like
Right now we're in the studio with Jesse Fjorn of Crowkeeper Studios. We are going to be laying down a couple more tracks for EP. And then when we write the rest of the album, we'll put all those in and release our album to our label. But for now, we're in the studio with him, and we just did scratch guitars, and we just did the drum tracking. Next will be final guitars, bass, and then vocals.
cool. All right. Perfect. We got it good now. The song is perfect.
It's like the part that I never understand though is how is it that I mean that's happened so many times with so many bands. I'm like 5 dudes are in a room and everyone's like yeah it sounds good. And then like 2 days later they're like dude we forgot the fucking thing. It's like how the fuck did you guys forget it?
And Mitch being Mitch.
Who are your influences as far as music?
Yeah. Dying Fetus, one of my biggest influences. That would be more my modern. When I first getting into music, AC/DC was a big band that my dad always loved listening to. So that was kind of my first interest in music. Slayer, Exodus, Creator, Behemoth, Cannibal Corpse, huge early influences in terms of bands that got me into extreme metal. I knew I was slowly getting into harder music when if I heard a song that seemed really hard on the radio and then I heard something more aggressive, and that's just, I kept feeding that hunger for, oh, I need something darker now, I need something more brutal now, and those are kind of bands that kind of propel me to where I'm at now. You know, I think what drives the passion is, first off, family. I don't want to get into something and fail them. That's a hard pill to swallow. I don't want to fail myself. I'm my biggest cheerleader. As much as I know my family is there, I'm my biggest cheerleader. I'm my biggest critic. I don't want to fail myself. I feel too many people are willing to fail themselves. Oh, this is really hard. I'm just going to quit, and I will do whatever mental gymnastics I need to do to justify why it was okay to quit, especially if you've invested tons of time into doing it. I think another big motivating factor is the relationships I've built. A lot of friends who became customers or artists, and then we became even closer friends. And that's how it's always been with Arachnid. Most of my artists, we're all just friends first. Passion, a love for music, a respect for each other's craft and genre, and I think it's one of those things where the real recognize the real. Like, damn, this guy is legit with his music, he's legit about what he does musically, and he also builds a product he's passionate about, and I think people can see that, and I think people are drawn to that. And I do something that is not on the market in terms of all the LED halos, I do splatters, there's a lot of things I do that no other company will do for even closely the same price that I offer my product at.
Oh my god, you're right.
Gary Holt's like one of your clients. Tell me about something about that.
Oh man, Gary was cool. I remember it took a little bit to get in communication with him. Dude's busy. I mean, from getting his cabinets done, him going on tour, NAMM, and him going back on tour, I could see why the dude's so busy. But Gary Holt came to me actually after Sammy DeWay of Goat Whore first came to me. Sammy played a festival in Tahoe that I provided a backline for, and he kind of busted my balls about the cabs initially. And this was back in like 2017, and Sammy and Goat tour through Sacramento all the time. I've been to a couple shows, and Sammy finally hit me up out of the blue. You know, I didn't bug him. He's like, hey, Rob, you know, Randall kind of isn't treating me too well anymore. So I'm looking for another place to call home for my cabinets. Then Sammy got a custom cab for me. He decided to make it his signature. He loved it so much, he decided to put his name on it, and we offered a signature model. Then Gary came to me after we kind of talked a little bit. I asked him if he wanted to try the cabs, you know, just test drive them, because I found out he was local. And he was like, yeah, sure, when the time arrives or, you know, comes up. Totally cool. Sammy gets a cab. Gary's like, starts asking me some questions, tiptoeing a little bit deeper into the Arachnid pool. And then finally, we talked speakers, we talked specs, we talked options, and Gary came right on board and commissioned 4 of them, took them right out on that Bass Strikes Back tour. So, humbling experience. Never thought the dude I was watching on Headbangers Ball 2 when I was 15 or 16 was gonna, like, you know, would be in my phone and I could, like, hey, what do you need? Can I help you? You know, do you want me to grab your cabs? What's up with NAMM? You know, past tense stuff, but still, it's such a crazy thought. Sammy, hey, I have an upgrade. You know, when you come through tour next, I'll be seeing you. I have something for you. I mean, it's such a crazy, humbling experience to know I have these OGs trusting their tone to something I build with my own hands.
What about like your appearance in NAMM? Tell me about that. Very briefly.
Oh, NAMM. Great. First year I actually went to NAMM on my own. I've been before to provide cabs for another company. Wasn't really a main attraction. This year, Gary came, he did a signing, I had Sammy on board. I had like 12 of my artists come out and demonstrate the shit out of them. We fucking rocked NAMM. I guarantee that is gonna be one of those experiences people were like, oh man, that death metal booth that had artists A, B, C, and D perform, and no one told them to turn the fuck down, and they had all this crazy looking shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were kind of hard to miss at NAMM.
Why do dovetails and not bolts and screws and nails?
Dovetails, structurally, are one of the strongest joints because they hammer together and insert themselves into each other. They have been proven to be able to withstand more weight and tension at one joint than most other joints combined. With the dovetail joint, you will snap the wood before you ever break the joint the way you will with the butt joint. Their structural integrity is unmatched. I'm one of the few companies out there who actually still dovetail their cabinets. I pride myself on that, as I've been doing it for forever, and I will not deviate. It's one of the highest carpentry standards for joinery that you could do, aside from the super elegant dovetail joinery that you see a lot of countries in Asia do, Japan being one of them. It's a superior joint all around. It's got more strength than a butt joint. It's got more strength than any other sort of joint. And fun fact, speaking of Asia, the earliest known dovetails actually date back to Asian royalty in China and even Egypt. So it's, if your dovetails are associated with royalty, you know it must be good. So you dovetail.
What's the future with Arachnid?
Slow, steady growth. Hopefully not too slow, but, growth I can handle. Obviously, I have invested in tools for, big boy machinery to start producing this stuff at a quicker rate, faster turnaround times, and I've invested into auxiliary space to ensure that products don't crowd my work environment, and also that they stay clean and I'm not wasting time doing stuff I don't have to do, like detailing for hours.
Sweet, man. I think I covered it all.
Cool.